I'm Sith for Life, and you're watching Krypton's Toy Vault. In this video, I'll be doing a little miniature showcase of these custom viltrumite figures that I have recently finished. In front of us, we have Omni-Man and Conquest, two viltrumite customs that I have recently finished. I was just going to do a little showcase, could talk about them, show off what I used, what I did, and show you that you don't have to be a top tier customizer to have really cool looking action figures. I'll go ahead and sit him back and pull in Omni-Man first. This Omni-Man was made using the X-Men 97 Hero Magneto body as the base, and initially I was going to go full paint. In fact, if you remove the suit, he does have a full painted body under there. But then I discovered these cloth goods suits from CfordCharles. You can find him on Etsy and YouTube, and I will have a link to his Etsy in the description below. And he makes these just phenomenal suits for these figures for way too little money. This one came with a head sculpt, the shirt, pants, cape, the gauntlets, like the forearm pieces here, and a neck piece if you have a figure that has a separated neck. It's got that too, and it was like 25 or 30 bucks for that whole set. And I mean, it fits perfectly. It's very well put together. It stretches very well. Like there's no, I can't find a thing to complain about. The capes are not wired, but I actually tend to prefer non-wired capes just so that they drape a little bit more naturally. Wires, if they're not done very well, wires have a tendency to kind of mess up the flow of the cape, in my opinion. So not having a wired cape is not a problem. But the hardest, none of this was difficult. This one doesn't even require any sewing. You're just basically throwing the suit on. I painted the hands, the boots, and the head. As you can see, I'm not an expert by any means, but I was able to throw it together. The head, he's got kind of beady little eyes, but all in all, you can tell who it's supposed to be, which is the important thing. He still moves like a Marvel Legend. I mean, he's still got all his joints, butterfly joints and all that. So he still moves. The suit doesn't seem to really restrict too much. You do have to be careful if you're like twisting the bicep around. You gotta make sure to move the suit properly to keep it from stretching or potentially tearing. I'll move him back and pull in Conquest. Conquest barely fits in screen. He was made using one of the older Warpath figures, and so he has less articulation, a little bit less articulation. I mean, he's still got his butterflies, still moves around just fine. And this head sculpt came out way better than the Omni-Man one. So you can see, oh, he's got a little speck on his nose. But this head sculpt came out 10 times better than that one. as did the this suit required sewing. The head, the head sculpt, the gauntlet, and the belt are all 3D printed. A buddy of mine did the head and the gauntlet, and then after that I had my own printer, so I was able to print the belt, and then it was thrown together and it was done. It took longer than I wanted to, just mostly because, you know, I may have slacked off a little bit, but it came out really well. It just, this is by far the best one I've done. Again, that's not me tooting my horn, that's just pure luck. And I love the scale between these two. I have an Invincible as well, but it was the first I did, and it looks kind of terrible. But he's again, the scaling is just about perfect. I love how much smaller he is than Omni-Man than Conquest. This uses the Fantasy 15 Spidey body as a base, but he's kind of ugly, so we'll keep looking at these guys. I will bring in a few other figures and show comparison to see how they scale. Obviously, they use Marvel Legends bucks as their base, so they're going to scale pretty well. And so here we have the Superman that I showed off in the last video. That uses the Hyperion body. And then on the right we have the Secret Wars Cap, and I think they scale pretty well together. Cap's about the same size as Omni-Man, which I think fits pretty well. Omni-Man wasn't insanely buff or anything. I think they worked pretty well together. And here we have them with not one, but two She-Hulks. And again, the scaling is just about on point. I've got no complaints there. So yeah, final thoughts. Neither of these were particularly difficult. I did have to learn some new skills putting together these customs that I've been doing recently, and I'm glad to have learned those skills. I'm glad to be able to put them to practice. And I'm really glad to have some awesome Invincible action figures. When I started these, the Jada toys hadn't been announced yet. I am interested in those. I will definitely be picking them up. But for the time being, and maybe even afterwards, I will still know that I have pretty, at least decent versions of these characters that I can fall back on. It'll be cool. It'll be very interesting to see how those compare to these, especially scale-wise. The scaling seemed a little bit off when we saw the prototypes. I'm hoping those will be tweaked a little bit, but I'll definitely be picking up all three of those when they come out. That said, as far as these customs are concerned, that's about all I have to say about them. This has been Sith for Life. You've been watching Krypton's Toy Vault, and I thank you for watching.